know what I mean?
Jim, can I bless you?
Yes.
Can I bless you right
Yes,
here on
please do.
the Breuniverse?
Yeah.
Can I bless you, Jim Breuer? Because your mind is so fast. Watch this, Jim.
Jim Breuer.
Jim
Jim
Breuer.
Breuer. Jim Breuer.
Jim Breuer.
Jim Breuer.
Hey, this is Jim Breuer. Hello, senor.
What's up, Mr. Breuer?
You're up. That's what's up. I'm trying to. I was worn out yesterday.
A bit.
I was like, I think I was fighting a little fever.
Oh no!
I'm still a little f***ed up today, but much, much better. I'm just looking up Steve Baldwin's Instagram.
Yeah.
Because he started leaving like these.
Those cryptic messages and shit.
Yeah. The cryptic messages, which I've had some really incredible conversations with Steve. Steve's always like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if it's because of his eyes or whatever, but it's like he has this look about him like he knows so much more than he's revealing. Yeah, so Steve Baldwin always, I'll wait till he comes on, but it started many years ago. I saw him. I got to remember this. I saw him during Half Baked. Steve Baldwin's always been like this mysterious person in my life that I just couldn't put my finger on the why or if there was an ulterior motive.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I got to know him, it was more of a really, he's never brought anything negative or weird, and always in a positive light and guiding me in a better direction. And today I want to talk about that a little bit, where I don't think people understand quite the impact he had in helping me on many ways in my just in a better way of living spiritually and all that. People like Steve or like myself, we came from the school of I need teenagers to show me how to just you hit a button, tell me when to go. I can't. I got to download things. What am I doing? All right, let's bring on Steve. Steve Baldwin. What's up, hombre?
What's going down, James Brown? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Is it okay?
It sounds amazing. You look
Does it sound okay? Great. Wonderful. Terrific. And I can lean in and
yeah.
Hey, how are you? This is your freaking party, dude, but how are you? How are you?
Honestly, really well. And
good.
what I wanted to explain to people is you're a huge part of that.
Oh my gosh.
And one of the reasons I wanted to have you was I want people to know what an impact you've had on my life.
Oh my gosh.
So that was more I know you do. Listen, I know we talked about the podcast, and you told me a while ago, hey, I want to do this podcast, the One Bad Movie, and I know you're doing it, and I watch you doing it, and it's great. But what? Because on here, I've been doing my best to put out love and positivity and all that, and what we can only do so well at that.
All that. That's on my all that list. Go ahead. All that positivity. All Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yes.
Keep it positive, babe.
But
amen. Amen.
Yes. Yes. What I want people to know is, and I've told these guys, Margot, and we did a really cool, what I thought was a cool thing yesterday. These guys came up to me. It was called the Wheel of Spirituality, and they spun the wheel, and I had to, whatever it landed on, if I have a story or a name or whatever. And it was incredible. And one of the things I brought up was what an impact you've had in my life in a positive, godly way. And
you're on a short list, buddy. You're on a short list. Trust me.
No. I know that, and it's.
I'm kidding.
No.
I just. Go ahead.
I tell people. So one of the things that you taught me, which I have to say is still one of the most powerful things that I took from one of our conversations. You like Jimmy B. And only Steve has, you have this delivery about you where I just don't know. It's like you say it in this way that comes from somewhere else. I don't know how to describe it. Where I'm not. It's almost like and you'll go 3 S's. Just remember the 3 S's. I went 3 S's. My dog head, and you went sit, be still, and silent. And I remember just sit, be still. I've never forgot that. And it's completely, amongst everything, changed my life. And I want people to know the beauty that you have brought into my life, and that has helped me tremendously. And I wanted to tell you that. I know I've told you that on the phone, but I want the world to know, or any of my listeners to know, what an incredible impact you've always had. So that was the main issue, the main reason for having you here.
Thanks.
No, you're absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with that, where are you right now? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm super creepy in the guest house. I've set up my little grandpa, communications here in the guest house. And you can see their shadows. I just had all the guys on my team were like, no, fix it. You don't have to have those shadows. I'm like,
it doesn't.
Jim likes Stevie B from the shadows.
I do. I do.
But I think one of the coolest things is you and I both have a very significantly unique spiritual walk. But I think it's large, and you can say this over and over and over and over, but there's a difference between like saying it and like walking in it, which is your wife and my wife are both anchors. They're anchors.
Correct.
So every day you and I can and it's the honeymooners. I don't know. I've never.
You're absolutely right.
Yours is totally the same as mine. Like, I literally went downstairs 38 minutes ago and I went, hey, you busy? She's like, what? Like her sister was there. Her niece was there. They were getting in the car to leave. They were just visiting, blah, blah, blah. And I go, I need like a turkey with cheese on a slice of like a little mustard. I got Breuer in like 40 minutes. I just make me a sandwich. It's a Ralph Cramden, it's me, hamana.
Right.
I'm
yeah.
I'm trying to make sure the stream yard's working.
Yes.
But I think God chose great gals for us. We probably both could have easily messed it up. Yeah, just leave that right there. And then the first time I ever came up to you is one of my favorite stories in the world.
I remember it well. Go ahead.
Stern show. Was it Stern or
No.
it was what's their names?
Opie and Anthony.
Yeah, you spooked me with that boomerang years later. Like years later, you came up to me and go, hey, I gotta just remind you something. I was like, yeah. You were like, yeah, you came up to me at Open and Ante one time. You just like barged into the middle of an effing interview and just said, hey, dude, is this really the audience you want?
Yes. And what people... yeah, good.
But I ghosted you then. I didn't mean to. I was just saying these are the kind of dudes that make fun of people who get injured in accidents. Like they'll play videos of somebody, look at his head rolling down the sidewalk. And you and I are going, yeah, but like his daughter's watching, guys. You know, it's not a nice video.
Well,
something like that.
No.
I just was coming.
Exactly what you said. So what happened was the Opie and Anthony was huge, absolutely huge.
Oh, beyond huge.
Beyond a monstrosity. I went on there twice and I said, I'm playing the moon, and it was sold out. Now, at that time too, I just went through the half-baked stage where everyone's still, I would sell out venues and they're throwing joints on stage, and it was fun and good. And it took my nephew. I started getting exhausted because I wasn't that guy. Did I get stoned? Yeah, I got stoned. But I wasn't the guy everyone wanted me to be. And so that was my first big struggle with entertainment / my grounding mark of my morality and spirituality and my being in tune with God. And my nephew was the first one that came to me, my oldest nephew from my brother that passed on. And he came to me. He's like, Uncle Jim, do you want to be this guy? Are you sure you want to be the guy? You want to be this stoned guy? I mean, I get it, but do you want to be the guy? And I went, no, I don't. And I am moving on. And then came the Opie and Anthony. All right. Now,
right.
I left SNL. I started doing the movies and I walked away from that. And that wasn't easy. And that was a lot of the wife, too. It was a lot going on there.
I was in the same algorithm.
And that's what threw me.
I'm with my chick since we're 19.
Wow.
Long time.
And so the Opie and Anthony brought me a whole different crowd. And I will to this day. Opie helped me tremendously in my storytelling. He'd always encourage the storytelling and blah, blah, blah. But at that time, right before you walked in there, I remember I freaking prayed in the stairwell. I think I got
right. I remember you told me this. Right?
I hit my one hitter and I was in the stairwell and I went, God, please,
give me a sign. Just not Stephen Baldwin.
Right, and that's what threw me out. I went, give me a sign because I feel like
that's hilarious.
The people that were showing up my show were Vikings. They were Vikings.
Listen, I had to say to somebody, I had to say to,
go ahead.
Forgive me for interrupting. Yeah. I had to I just have to do this because perspective and the opinion of a perspective matters. It's like a dying art. It's like, I'll give you a weird story. I was with a very famous singer that I know.
Okay.
I was with a very famous singer I know.
Sure.
At Matsuhisa in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Japanese sushi place.
Yeah.
Famous place. Very, very, very delicious food. And I'm with this famous singer. Yeah. And I go, hey, see that guy? See that guy sitting in the corner? See that guy? His name's Fred Durst. Right. And I'm sitting with this very famous singer. And the singer goes, yeah? I go, Fred Durst is that guy's name. I stood in Madison Square Garden when that guy sang a song with his band and the building was moving.
Oh, yeah.
I go, the building was... I go, so just remember. And it was piss ass funny.
Yeah.
Because it was a singer I know.
Yep.
And on the way out, he, sweet as can be, my singer friend walks right up to Fred Durst and goes, hey man, I don't know who you are, but my friend just said you rock and just what's up? I'm so and so. And Durst is looking at me like, what's up? It's just cute. But I, in that same way,
Yeah.
in that same Freddie Durst kind of algorithm,
Mm.
you know, you were your own little Limp Biscuit, bro, in your own little way. Because it's not easy to single yourself out in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
And right. But bro, listen, this is how impactful your comedy's been. Kiss my ass in Macy's window, I'm going there. I had to say to somebody 3 days ago, and this SNL 50 and yeah, and here's a picture of my friend Jim, and there's Rob and some other people, and my brother Alec, and one of the whatever. I said, but I almost had like this weird kind of midnight cowboy. I'm walking here. Like I was talking to a young person. I went, Jim Breuer, and they're like, yeah, Jim Breuer, yeah. I'm like, and I love to bait people when I talk to them about you, when I talk to younger people about comedy and what they know and who they know and et cetera. They don't know Mike Binder and the Detroit Comedy Jam. They don't know that stuff.
Yeah.
They know Jerry Seinfeld.
Right.
That's cool. No, but that's cool. It makes sense. They know Friends.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
They don't know stand up. You know what I mean? They don't really understand the art.
Right.
So I had to say to somebody, and this isn't to delineate from that. This is just to simply say, Jim Breuer did this character called Goat Boy, and you have to understand, like it became this animal in America. It became this, you know what I mean? So it's a compliment to you just to say what you're describing to me now about your spirituality was when Goat Boy was like in your pocket and when you took him out and put him on the shelf. There's a difference between you going, like when you went into your thing, like,
yes,
like that quick.
Yes.
And when you went, and when you stopped doing that to take your brand in the direction that you have, you know what I mean? Which is brilliant.
Well, thank you.
I'm shutting up now.
No, I appreciate
that I've sufficiently
I appreciate
smooched you. Yeah,
no.
You're a legend. I can't wait. I don't know how long we're talking. I hope you tell me all about
as long as
SNL 50 as much as you can. Whatever you want to tell me.
Whatever you want to learn about SNL 50, I'll tell you real quick.
Tell me everything you couldn't tell your wife. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. You're so cute that you're thinking about it. Was she with you?
No. Yeah, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. She already was like, why would you go there? They didn't acknowledge you on the 40th anniversary. They're not going to acknowledge you on the 50th anniversary.
Oh, that's funny.
She goes,
I love her.
She goes, I love how they just pretend you didn't exist. Why? Because you weren't Lauren's puppet? So this is what my wife, well, you were not Lauren's little puppet doll? Screw SNL. Screw them. You made your impact. They could try to hide all they want. Screw them. Why you want to be around that? No, because so I didn't want that. I did go with a whole different mentality this year. I went with, I know I'm not going to be acknowledged, which I wasn't. I knew that I wasn't going to have anything in common with almost anyone, and I didn't. And it was the first. I got to be dead honest with you. It was the first time.
Well, if you're going to go there, I'll go there with you in the conversation. Just simply meaning, but finish what you were going to say. I won't forget.
It was 10 years ago. I probably would have wanted some of those names to walk up to me,
right?
Or like get invited to a picture or come say whatever. This go around, I realized I don't have anything in common with most people in here. They're all still running for the light. They're still running for the ball of fame and vanity and ego.
Very good observation.
And sexuality. All the things that will bring you down in life. Your sex, ego, vanity,
the world,
the whole
things
thing.
Of the world.
And it made me
Normal.
go. Now, the people that did come up to me were very, very, were people I was glad that came up to me. You know, like very, to me, what I consider very normal people. And I did see your brother at the very end of the night. It was a weird, I came out and he was with Schaefer. Who's the bald headed guy? There's Schaefer from Letterman.
Oh yeah, Paul Schaefer.
Paul Schaefer. And I don't know if they
Sure.
were waiting for a thing. And your brother said something to me. He's like, hey, Jimmy, how you doing? And but I didn't understand what he said. He's like, yeah, my kids say that the show you're on, like I should. And I'm like, what show? I'm not on. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say that, but I really didn't know what he was talking about. But he was kind. He was like, hey, man, how you doing? Blah, blah. My kids said that I should do that show. Like you go on the show and you're really good at it. I went, oh, okay. But I was like, did he mean the podcast? Does he mean Gutfeld? He doesn't mean Gutfeld.
No.
But it doesn't matter. Whatever it was. So the whole weekend, put it this way, it ended with me getting sick, which explains a lot.
I'm so sorry to laugh. I just sick, or because I just got over being sick.
That kind of stuff. Yeah. So, but it reconfirmed, and we've had this conversation where, do I want to entertain more? Yes. Am I writing a film for the first time in many, many years? Yes. Am I working on a project? Yes. But I don't want to go through their door. I want to create my own door, which is what I lived by my whole life. And if
you want to go indie, you're going indie.
I'm going full blown indie, and it feels good because if I fail, I can live with that. I can live with it.
Jim, I think it's official. You're going full blown indie. You've called your full blown indie experiment Breuniverse. So
correct.
I mean, it's most certainly your thing.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
So let me ask you a question. So you're there. Pardon me. You're there.
Yeah.
And, spirits are spirits. People are vibing, this, that. You had Rob there.
Yes.
I don't know if you interact with Rob at all.
We walked in together.
Yeah. And Spade is kind of like this weird, he's Spade. You know what I mean? And, but he'll be nice to you for a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I have a great Spade story. The last time I saw Spade, he was in this like broken down minivan.
It's already funny.
At the, he was driving this like 35-year-old minivan right on Sunset Plaza there where the Chin Chin is and all that.
Yeah.
And I saw him in his minivan and I pulled up to him and I said, dude, you're kidding me in this minivan. He said, I did. And he's like, the light changed and he took off. But yeah, I think a lot of those folks, if you like to be indie, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
If you apply your independence
mm-hmm.
to everything, it's just odd. Some cats are, hey, it's designer indie, like as long as your indie doesn't tread on my indie, and it's just like it's why I'm retired from politics.
Right.
I've said this before. Yep. I got one bad movie's going. I say what I say publicly. I'm praying for our president and our country right now. I know this president. I did a TV show with him. I didn't hang out with him, but
right.
I know the guy, and
right.
he's gonna do what he's gonna do, and he got voted in, and that's what's up. So
that's where we're at.
But I'm just trying to be mini Doge. You know what I mean? Which is the Department of Grandpa Efficiency. I'm a grandpa now.
Yes,
I just improv that, bro.
I know, okay? But I like that. I see you as a great.
I'm a mini Doge. Yeah, mini Doge, Department of Grandpa Efficiency, bro. And in my Department of Grandpa Efficiency, my self-evaluation every day, I just realized, you know what? That, and I'll ghost you again. So I was very involved in politics back in 2016. Things did what they did, and then they did what they did, and now they've done what they've done. And Holy Ghost is telling me, bro, just kick it, do the podcast, and pray. Prayer is the greatest thing I have to offer for this nation. So I'm focused on that. I'm doing my Doge, my Department of Grandpa Efficiency. And because of that, I'm trusting God and Elon and all these guys. You know, they got it. They know what they're doing.
They
They don't need me, little old me.
It's really funny you say that because I have no tour dates. 0 tour dates. First time in my life.
Good for you.
No tour
Stay
dates.
home.
And, people thought I was political the last couple of years, where I keep explaining I didn't see it as political. I saw it as I'm telling you what I'm witnessing. And if you want to put that as a political or categorize me, go ahead. But don't pretend you don't see what we're all seeing right here. And I had a lot to say, not in a whatever, but when things finally, okay, everyone voted here and did that, I don't know what's going to happen now, but it made me go, I don't have a drive to try to wake certain conscious up. Now I feel, hey, everything that could be done is done, and this is the best way you could do it now. Just speak love, positive spirit. How do we help one another? How do we lift each other up, no matter who they are and all that? And that's
and it's okay. Listen, and it's okay to say Bible in there, if you ask me.
100%.
Because it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right?
Correct.
So the trip out is, from my perspective.
Yeah.
We're talking about media, we're talking about news, we're talking about politics, we're talking about Hollywood, we're talking about in all that crap. Everybody, you should be able to say what you want to, right? You should be able to say what you want to say, and I should be able to say, meanwhile, there's people in certain, of those different hemispheres, there's people who get work and who don't. And there's a lot of, badminton being played right now politically. And, because the dust hasn't settled, but it's gonna.
It's gonna.
It's
like
listen,
this. It's like this right now.
There's never been a better time to go indie, Jim Breuer. Listen, ask the guy who does Vlad TV. Okay, Vlad's pretty stoked right now, bro. He's got 6 million followers on YouTube.
That's right. That's right.
And and he's a cool cat, and he's got a great perspective, and he's got a great show, and he's just one of those guys that. So, AKA. You and me, one bad movie, Breuniverse. Keep going.
Correct.
Keep going. 7 years from now, you'll be on a boat in Boca. Hopefully it'll be the U.S. Virgin Islands. If you listen to me, don't go to Boca. Go to the U.S. Virgin Islands. Love you. Because that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to, have fun with one bad movie because it's really getting sticky and people are getting a kick out of it. But more importantly, the reason I'm doing it, and you're going to howl right now.
Yeah.
I've been telling my wife for 3 years, almost every day, hey, John Travolta can have a 747. So can we. John Travolta. If John Travolta flies his own 747,
that's right.
So can we. One bad movie's gonna take us there, baby. Woo!
Which I remember having these conversations with you. We would have these long conversations, and you're like, Jimmy, most billionaires and millionaires happen after a certain age.
65.
Yes. And I remember every conversation we ever had. I remember all.
I remember saying to you, and I used my Alec voice when I did that.
You did.
Jim, I'm gonna be a billionaire. I will speak it into existence. Thus saith the Lord. I will be a billionaire, right?
And you go, Jimmy B and Stevie B and their production company. It's gonna happen. No, and hey, no, you're right. I know it's all. And I still, to be honest with you, I still think about that, and it's going to happen. I don't know how. I don't know how yet, and I don't worry about the how anymore or try to see the how. But I know the how is only a matter of time before it's figured out, and it's going to be a really awesome, amazing
Well,
time.
why you're a pioneer, brother, is this is just the monetization, but let's not apologize, of you being you.
That's
This
all.
is community. This is community.
Right.
This is community. I have more people tripping out on me on TikTok
Yep.
just because I'm making these videos that are my version of performance art.
Yes.
It's just me. It's me doing something and watching the comments and watching people go, I think he's fucking with us. I think he's just, sorry. I think he's fucking with us.
Yes.
And I push the heart button. Yes, I'm fucking with you.
Yes.
I'm just trying to have fun. Now, forgive me, Lord, for the F word.
No, come on.
Yeah. But my point is, then I can kind of, parallel that into a biblical thought, depending on what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I can talk about, space aliens. I can talk about, conspiracy.
Right.
I can talk about, supernatural. Like, it's all just, listen, the coolest cat that ever was about all this was George Carlin.
Yes.
George Carlin, was the guy who just made you go like, wow, I never thought about it that way. So I'm just trying to be, the Charles Bukowski meets that guy.
But
That's
you know what? When I would first see George say those things, it didn't comprehend at the time. But now that he's gone and those videos continue to play, now we all go, whoa, wow, this guy, how did he get away with it? He didn't have a big enough following. That's how he got away with it.
Well, he didn't have an internet. But he didn't have an internet.
He didn't have an internet.
Quick.
He had a following, but he didn't.
George Carlin would have been canceled quick.
Oh, he would have been in serious trouble today. Serious trouble. They would have been, oh my God, they would have been.
He wouldn't have cared. He wouldn't have cared. He wouldn't have cared.
No, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't have cared. He wouldn't have cared.
So that's what I love too. Like you'll show. I loved what do you call it? Who's the guy from Reservoir Dogs? I love this guy with the ear.
Madsen.
Yes.
Michael Madsen.
Yes. I saw a clip on One Bad Movie, your podcast.
Yeah. See the Pacino thing that he talks about?
No, all I saw was when he's talking about Johnny Depp, and he goes,
Yeah.
You don't talk to me. He got mad at me. Yeah.
All right, listen to me, please.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't care that we're recording this.
Yeah.
I don't care. The Madsen clip on One Bad Movie, which has like 300,000 views. It's the biggest one is where he talks about meeting Pacino for that movie, for Donnie Brasco.
I got to watch it.
No, bro, it's such a blessing for me to host a show. This is what I was telling you was, well, let me see if, and I interviewed Eric Roberts. I've interviewed some very, very, very cool people. And for me, it's just like, oh, wow, I get to ask him about all these movies I loved.
Right.
I'm talking to Madsen, and he starts talking about the two funny stories he tells is Quentin Tarantino in The Hat. You got to watch that.
Oh, dude, I haven't seen this yet. Okay.
Yeah, it's Quentin Tarantino and how he was told he couldn't wear a certain hat on Kill Bill. It was hysterical. But he talks about meeting Pacino for Donnie Brasco because he wouldn't read. They said you have to read and he was like, I won't read. This is dumb. How he got Donnie Brasco was just meeting Pacino. He never auditioned. He just met Pacino.
Wow.
I'll leave it right there, dude.
Okay.
It's one of the funniest effing stories. It's Madsen. He's waiting. He's like, Yeah, well, I'd like to meet Pacino. Yeah, I'll meet him. Yeah. Because they were like his agents and were saying, you're going to lose this gig. It's a big movie. You know, Pacino has final casting approval. They want you to meet Al. If you won't audition, will you meet Al? He said yes. And the rest, I swear, Jim, I won't tell you. It's so only Madsen can tell this story the way he tells it. I'll shut up.
Okay, I got it.
But you were saying that you saw one clip of Madsen and it was effective.
Oh, it was extremely effective. It was so good. He mentioned, and I don't know who your team is, but they're doing a good job. But in my opinion, start showing that Al Pacino and the other one, because that I've noticed this too. It's like you're in between your podcast and One Bad Movie, even ours. People don't even know. Some people don't know the podcast exists. They see it on Instagram,
right?
Or they'll see a piece on
or
TikTok.
On shorts, or on shorts. Yeah.
Right. And their power, they're still big enough that that's all people see. But that's enough for the awareness that people eventually will come knocking on the door and go, what do you got in this treasure chest? What's this one bad movie with Stephen Baldwin? Oh, I don't know who this actor is, but let me start watching it. It's really
right.
It's really the social media is huge, huge. I'm not gonna lie to you, when they were first talking about getting rid of TikTok, I went, oh no.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
Well, it was weird, and yeah, I guess it was weird, but I knew it wasn't good.
No, it just was such a big platform.
Huge.
When they were saying, yeah, I mean, it's when you're, you know, it's like any other piece of real estate. It's like why Elon grabbed Twitter, right? I mean, there's all kinds of other speculation, but which is probably very accurate. But TikTok being under a certain control, and then, you know, if they can really relinquish that control and it can be privatized, then
right.
And now, what's the messaging been since that transaction? All the advertising on TikTok now, where you see TikTok promoting itself, it's business. Now they're saying, oh, your business on TikTok, business on TikTok, business on TikTok, business on TikTok. That's all for the last 8-10 weeks. That's all you've heard.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, TikTok doesn't suck.
No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. And that's where I would see a lot of great videos and different insight to things that are deeper layered, that I won't go into because I don't want to.
That's my stuff, or just stuff?
No, just in general. I call it the bunkers. Right. Once in a while on here, we'll go into the bunker that I'll just blatantly put out that you shouldn't put out. What most people say, I wouldn't talk about that if I was you. But I'll be like, hey, it's not me. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying, this is what a lot of people are saying. You know what I mean?
Jim, can I bless you?
Yes.
Can I bless you here on the Breuniverse?
Yeah.
Can I bless you, Jim Breuer? Because your mind is so fast. Watch this, Jim. I'm retired from politics.
Yes.
Yeah. I just no longer am permitted by Holy Ghost to take the time. I can't scroll and who said what and Marco Rubio, and I'm not allowed. I just have to, I'm praying for everybody. But when I want to say certain things, I refer to what's called the matrix. I don't know if you're familiar with what's called the matrix.
Of course.
It's kind of the world we're in.
Yes.
And then we have the choice to stay in that world or by however independently. See how I brought that word back? Like a preacher. I'm like a matrix preacher. So what I do, bro, is on my social media, I just refer to the matrix.
Yes.
Recently, I said something really scary. I said, like, the matrix knows how to get you, and
yes.
And none of the platforms can go, hey, watch that, buckaroo. You better watch what you're saying. They can't say that because I'm just talking about the matrix.
Well,
see?
Here, I'll give you some tap dancing shoes. Another tap dancing we learned was everything we're saying is full-blown character, goofy, and doesn't make
performance art.
It's just
Performance art.
So if we throw something out there and it's not fact, you go look it up. We're just BSing in the backyard. It's no different than people who have had cocktails. Please don't even. This guy's on marijuana. This guy's has booze. It has nothing. What I'm about to show you is just goofy. But let's look at it anyway. Whoa, why is the funding going there and no one's talking about it?
What do you mean their passcodes to the door doesn't work? You can't lock those people out, for gosh sakes. No, I just listen. It's the Matrix, bro. That's my point. It's the Matrix. It's the Matrix. And those folks that went to those buildings and tried their passcodes and they couldn't get in and then stood outside and looked at cameras and said, hey, this isn't right. People now watching that who now have a much greater awareness of the Matrix are responding, Jim. They're responding in a very independent kind of way.
Correct.
Even in Hollywood, my brother, even in Hollywood, you see this tremendous shift, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a shift. Still have to be your spidey senses have to be on full awareness. I went on on these show tours, and there would be people claiming one thing and then I would,
oh my God, that's great.
And I would show up and I realized, wow, this is wow. I'm Luke Skywalker in the Death Star. And I'm just gonna drop my nuke and get on out of here. Hey, beauty, life, God, and have a good one, everyone. And, you know, and the people like, hey, you know, where I'm like, yeah, I don't know about is, you know, it's even with movements, you got to be very, very in tune. I guess that's the word to do it. You got to be very in tune. Who's authentic? The authentic ones moving forward. And
It's the Bible's greatest warning, Jim.
Really?
The Bible's greatest warning. You have a lot of people talk about the Bible in different ways, but the greatest warning of the Bible is what's called the counterfeit. That's the Matrix.
Yes.
So we're in this fallen world, and the Lord of this fallen world is the Lord of this fallen world. See how I did that? Somebody will Google Lord of this fallen world, and they'll get the name. I don't have to say it. Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But like you went to SNL 50, and that's a matrix.
100%.
You had to go into that matrix, and Hollywood's a matrix.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but one thing's never going to change: good and evil, dog.
Never.
That's never going away.
No.
This war is not over.
No.
So that's why we get back to keep it positive.
There you go.
We're going no stress. We're going, yes, wifey, yes, dear, yes, my darling, happy wife, happy life. We're going to stick to the independent, old school foundational knowledge and experience that we have. Because that's what got us here, bro.
You're absolutely
right. I got kids. I got grandkids now.
Yes.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
I got to take care of this vessel.
Yes.
I got to be happy. Listen. I won't say my youngest daughter's name on this podcast so they can't click it. Okay. But
yeah.
When people say to me, hey, Steve, you all right? You okay? Everything all right? Everything good? You all right? You're a little creepy on social media. Everything all right? I'm like, yo, I've never been better. I'm just chilling.
Yes.
I turn 59 this year. I celebrate my 35th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Right. And, you know, I had a little shift because now my new gig is that I work full time for Hailey Bieber's mother. I love this job. It's my new favorite job, bro. It's my new favorite job. The mom's great. I open the door for her. I carry the groceries. Like, wink, wink. You get it. You know, blah, blah, blah. But go ahead.
Well, I will say this. I know people have come at you so hard over the years. A, for your faith. B, to try to I've definitely heard people try to pigeonhole you or push you in the world of, you know, weird, whatever words they use to try to smear you or to discredit you. The human of Stephen Baldwin, the human that came to me at Opie and Anthony and was brutally beautiful and honest, the human that invited me during COVID because I was struggling as a human on many levels, and with I was going through a faith thing. I was afraid to put certain things out there because they don't really know Jim Brewer like this, but I couldn't hold it back anymore. The human Stephen Baldwin gave me so much love and insight, and the human that people don't understand is a father, is a brother, is a son, is a grandfather. And the human of Stephen Baldwin is one of the greatest humans I've ever had the experience of being of having conversations with and getting to know. And I
You're
didn't
an
need.
angel. Thank you.
I wanted to honestly. I want the world to know that, and I wanted everyone to understand that. You could sit there and go. You can say whatever you want. If you're just a listener or whatever, and whatever you think, the world of judgment is always going to say whatever. But I know the human of who you are, and I can never thank you enough. So,
oh, I love you, bro.
I love you too, man. So
I love you, buddy.
I wanted to get that out there.
I so appreciate that, and the world needs more of this kind of transparency and vulnerability. Look, what's wrong with me is I'm the same guy I've always been.
I know we laugh about a lot of that. We laugh
from my son-in-laws, to what,
sure.
It's like I think some people in life, business, and family have this expectation that, like some people are going to evolve and, get hip to media and, just, hit me with a Zoom call. And bro, listen to me. I don't read email. Everyone on my team has to text me if they sent me an email. I don't read email. I'm so busy trying to figure out how to peel an apple because I don't like the skin on it. So I like just the meat of the apple when I put some peanut butter on it. And I got to figure out, do I want peanut butter or do I want sun butter? You know what I mean? Email is something I'll figure out later.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I can't sit there all day going, I make that analogy sarcastically, just to simply say, people know me from some pretty cool performances, which back in the day, they told me I was pretty good. Biodome, Half-Baked, Usual Suspects, blah, blah, Fled with Fishburne. I could rattle off half a dozen pretty cool things in my career that a lot of people would, have told me, you got talent.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I did something crazy 25 years ago, almost 30 years ago. I said the JC words. I said JC, up on the mountaintop over there by the Hollywood sign.
Sure.
And you don't say JC
No.
standing next to the holly. You know what I mean?
No.
It's that's the land of the world of what he allows. It's not what he controls, it's what he allows.
Right.
Very different. Very different. So now I think, Jim, this soil that we've cultivated, I think it's going to harvest. I really do. Because now more than ever, you just have people that are looking for the authenticity of somebody to say, hey, like when I did Patrick Bet David, when I did Vlad, when I did these other things. And I just said, like, well, listen, this actor, I think this. Is that personal? I don't know the person. It doesn't matter what I think.
Same.
And then there's a lot of these young people now that are big stars coming up. I don't mean the Goslings, and they're already old. All these guys, that are doing Barbie, they're old. Right. They're in their 40s practically.
Yeah. Right.
The younger people coming up, it's interesting, Jim, because the younger people coming up now realize they can go indie too and make enough money or live enough of a certain lifestyle that keeps them content to go and just be who you do you. It's like I said before.
Yes.
If you just be you and keep cultivating that expression in the algorithm of Jim Breuer, right, it's going to bless you. That's it. Yes. Because now more than ever is there's no better time to do it than right now.
100%. Well, thanks for taking the time today. I wasn't sure if you'd make it. I wasn't sure. You are like trying to wrangle a cat.
But you know what happened?
What?
I set everything up and I opened this one window in the StreamYard. Yeah. And then I came in. I was sitting like this for 7 minutes. From 1 o'clock, dude, for 7 minutes. And all of a sudden you went, I got him. Because I sat there. I was waiting for you guys to let me in. So funny. But I didn't. I had to go back and click. I don't read email, Jim.
No, I know.
I don't read it. I don't even. Jim, pray for me, Jim. I don't read email, Jim.
I will.
I'm a creative cuckoo, and I love you and thank you for what you said, and bless you, universe.
Yes, man. Much love to you. One bad movie. I'm gonna watch that one when he starts.
Oh, you gotta watch
it. As soon as I hang up,
it's everywhere. It's the full interviews on the iHeart and all that, and the YouTube's hysterical. Bless you, bro. Thank you.
You as well. Much best to you, your family, and God bless and safe journeys. I love you. I hope to hear from you soon. Later, Stevie.
Love you too, boss. God bless.
So there you go. Stevie Baldwin. And like I said, a huge influence on the good part of my life. When I say the good part, the human, the God, he would talk to me about Jesus. He would talk to me about many things. And again, what people just don't understand is there's a human behind everybody. So, and these are really special times to tap into that. So I really want to thank Stephen for coming on today. I am going to, I was serious too. I wasn't just promoting his One Bad Movie podcast. That I could have watched. Now I got to go watch that whole thing because I want to hear Metzen talk about meeting Al Pacino, and he brought someone else too. He mentioned someone else too, but so I know you all have a mentor or someone that's helped you tremendously in your life. Send them a message. Let them know, hey, I may not have said this for a while. I may not have ever said thank you, but I just want to let you know you meant a lot in my life and where I've carried on to, and you were a huge role of it. And to be quite honest with you, Steve Baldwin has done that for me. So hopefully you have some Steve Baldwins in your life, and thank you for hanging out on Breuniverse, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one. So I'm working on a thing called Gene Therapy, which is my good friend Gene. And if you have an issue and you want Gene to give you his way of therapy, Gene Therapy, send in your voicemail. Just go to jimbrewer.com, and then we know if you made it that far, you really wanted to hear some therapy. Should be good. We'll let you know when we're ready to roll with that. Gene Therapy, send in your concerns or where you need help.
Keep the show rolling. Don't let me know that something's bad, because I pick up on that right away. Oh no, we're going down, and it'll look good.